Hi friend, welcome. It's Michaela, and yes, we are back at it again with another 24-hour readathon. Why am I doing this again? I don't really know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy the very first 24-hour readathon that I did, and I've been so obsessed with reading lately. Like, I think I'm on my 4th book of the year, and it's only like the 2nd week of January. Plus, a couple of books I had on hold just recently became available, so I'm ready to kind of just like dive into those. I'm so excited. So yeah, that's kind of why we're doing this again. However, we are going to be doing it a lot different, because if you were with me my first 24 hours, 24 hours lasted 3 days, and I still cannot fathom why it took so long. So the way this is gonna work is very similar to last time. I have my 24-hour timer set. Well, my 23-hour, 59-minute, 59-second timer set on my phone, and whenever I'm reading, I'm going to start the timer, and whenever I'm not reading, I will stop the timer. But last time I did this, I listened to an audiobook whenever I couldn't physically read, and I didn't start the timer during that time because I was like, oh, it's a readathon. No, I'm not doing it this time because I have a lot of things that I want to do today, and like where I'm actually listening to my audiobook, and plus I have like 3 hours left in this audiobook that I'm listening to, and so I really just want to finish it. So here is the lineup of books for the next 24 hours. I will be reading Legends and Lattes. I've heard such good things about this book. I heard that it's like so sweet and wholesome, and I'm just really excited to read it. When I first saw the cover, I thought it was a graphic novel, so I was really excited. I was like, ooh, a graphic novel. But no, it's just a regular book. But I'm excited to read this one. So this next book is very popular, and I've been putting it off for a while now, and I'm not really even sure why. But the last time I did my 24-hour readathon and I read 6 of Crows, I absolutely loved it, and that was another book I've been putting off for a while. So I wanted to just kind of dedicate some time to just dive into this book as well. It is Verity by Colleen Hoover, and I'm really hoping it lives up to all the hype that I hear about it and how good it is. And yeah, so I'm just excited to read this one as well. So the last time I did my 24-hour readathon challenge, I was only able to finish like 2 full books. And so this time I wanted to like mix in some graphic novels, you know, so then I was able to finish a little bit more. I found the Iliad in graphic novel form. I also found the Odyssey in graphic novel form, and let me tell you, friend, the Odyssey is one of my favorite books of all time. I love Odysseus. I love this story. When I was first introduced to it in high school, I was so obsessed. I've read the Odyssey like, I don't even know how many times. So when I found the graphic novel version, I was like, oh, obviously, we're gonna read this. And last but not least, the audiobook that I'm currently in the middle of is called Bet on It. I have about 3-ish, 4-ish hours left. So we are going to be counting that in the time and the 24 hours while we like do whatever we need to do where we can't actually sit and physically read a book. You know what? Let's go and get started because we have a long 24 hours ahead of us. So I'm gonna listen to my audiobook Bet on It while I make some breakfast to get the day started. So here's the description of this book. The first time Asia Owens encounters the man of her dreams, she's having a panic attack in the frozen food section of the Piggly Wiggly. The second time, he's being introduced to her as her favorite bingo buddy's semi-estranged grandson. From there, all it takes is one game for her to realize he's definitely going to be a problem. And if there's anything she already has a surplus of, it's problems. In Walker Abbott's mind, there are only 2 worthwhile things in Greenbelt, South Carolina: the peach cobbler at his old favorite diner and his ailing grandmother. Dragging himself back after more than a decade away, he's counting down the days until his gram heals and he can get back to his real life, far away from the trauma inside those city limits. Just when he thinks his plan is solid, enter Asia to shake everything up. A hastily made bingo-based sex pact is supposed to keep this thing between them from getting out of hand, especially when submitting to their feelings means disrupting their carefully balanced lives. But emotions are just like bingo colors, they refuse to be ignored. Okay, so we have about 2-ish hours left in Bet on It, and the timer is at 23 hours, 12 minutes, and 37 seconds. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and start Legends and Lattes. Yeah, let's start reading this one for a little bit and then see how far we get. Maybe I might switch to another book before I finish this one. Here's a brief synopsis of what Legends and Lattes is about. After a lifetime of bounties and bloodshed, Viv is hanging up her sword for the last time. The battle-weary orc aims to start fresh, opening the first ever coffee shop in the city of Thune. But old and new rivals stand in the way of success, not to mention the fact that no one has the faintest idea what coffee actually is. If Viv wants to put the blade behind her and make her plans a reality, she won't be able to do it alone. But the true rewards of the uncharted path are the travelers you meet along the way, and whether drawn together by accident, magic, flaky pastries, or a freshly brewed cup, they may become partners, family, and something deeper than she could have ever dreamed. Hi! Okay, so it is 2:23 and we have 20 hours, 14 minutes, and 15 seconds left of the challenge. I just finished eating lunch, and while I was eating, I was listening to Bet on It. Before that, I was reading Legends and Lattes. I'm on page 121, so we are like kind of almost to halfway through the book. We're on chapter 14. It's such a cute and cozy read. I really like it so far. I'm a mood reader, and honestly, I think I would have enjoyed reading this during fall, like the fall season. It's just kind of giving fall vibes. But yeah, this is super cute so far, and it's a really quick and easy read. Like I don't feel like I've read that much, you know, and we're almost halfway through. But I think I'm gonna switch gears and go back to my audiobook. I think I'm gonna try to finish Bet on It. I do have to write back to a few of my pen pals, so I think I'm going to listen to Bet on It while I work on one of the letters. Then we'll get back to reading Legends and Lattes. Hi, okay, so it is 4:03. We have 18 hours, 47 minutes, and 59 seconds left. Just finished listening to Bet on It. It was a really cute book. I think I'll probably give it like 3.5 stars. Maybe I'll just go ahead and give it a 4-star on Goodreads. Like a 3.5 star. It was a cute book. I am still working on finishing up my letter to my pen pal. I'm almost done with that. So once I finish this, I think I'm gonna take a nap. I don't want this 24 hours to last any longer than it really needs to. And I don't think I'm gonna do, like, I don't think I'm gonna like actually go to sleep tonight. I'm just going to keep reading and then take like naps every now and then. So I will be taking my first nap of the day after this, and then just get back into reading. Okay. The nap lasted a little bit longer than it really was supposed to. It is 6:11 and we have 18 hours, 47 minutes, and 59 seconds left. I'm gonna push for Zoom. We're gonna continue with Legends and Lattes. We're gonna get back into this. Okay, so it is 10:01 and we have 15 hours and 18 seconds left in the challenge. Just finished Legends and Lattes. This was such a good book. I would give it like a 4.5, so I'll give it 5 stars on Goodreads. It was just so wholesome and sweet and cute, and yeah, it was an easy read. It was like a really quick, easy read if you're looking for something that's like lighthearted. So next we are going to dive into the Iliad. Okay, hi, me again. Okay, I'm just gonna pause right here for just a second because this is kind of triggering for me. And I'm only on page 10. I read the Song of Achilles last year. I read the Iliad before. I'm familiar with the story. But like the visuals along with the story, it's just making my heart so happy. And of course, the Iliad is starting where the Song of Achilles is like ends, I guess. I sometimes, almost always, cry. Cry at that part, and I'm already like, and now we have pictures too. Like, anyway. So I'm already just trying to prepare myself for that moment. I don't want to spoil anything if you're not familiar with the story. So I won't say too much more. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know. But the visuals are really good, and obviously the story is really good. Hello. Okay, so it is 2:02 in the morning. We have 11 hours, 7 minutes, and 51 seconds left. And I just finished the Iliad. It was really good. And I didn't cry, but I did tear up at a few parts. Gosh, this story, I just really like it. So there's even this author's note that says like what happened next in the Iliad. And then like why we still read it, kind of like some historical accuracy things, which I actually really appreciated. And then there's like this little map here that kind of goes to show you just how many people were fighting in this war and where they came from, and they were all going here. And same with this as well, like where these came from as well. And then he also has like these page by page notes, which I really do also appreciate. Like, for example, there was a situation right here where Aphrodite was injured by like, you know, just a mortal person. And so then he goes and explains a little bit more about that, because I thought that part was weird. I was like, I don't remember that happening, or like how could that even happen? But yeah. No, this was a really, really good book. I enjoyed this one. All right, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I was gonna try to keep reading, but like my eyes literally, like, I don't know how much I'll be able to read if I try to keep reading right now. And I do also want to go to the gym in the morning, and it's already 2 o'clock in the morning. So if I actually don't go to sleep, that's not going to happen. We will reconvene in the morning. Good morning. Hi. It is 7:14. We have 10 hours, 40 minutes, and 7 seconds left. And I found a new audiobook since we finished bed on it. So I started listening to it while I was getting ready. I said I was gonna go to the gym today, but it is so cold and I don't feel like leaving. I don't feel like leaving my house. So I think I'm just gonna probably work out in the basement for a bit and then call it a day, because I don't want to go outside. I really don't want to go outside. So I think I'm gonna do that and then just like listen to that audiobook while I'm working out. Did I say what it was? I don't even know. I'm kind of tired. So I started listening to The Chemist, and so far it's all right. I'll give you a brief synopsis of what it's about. I don't know. I just started it, so we'll see. In this gripping page turner, an ex-agent on the run from her former employees must take one last case to clear her name and save her life. She used to work for the US government, but very few people knew that. An expert in her field, she was one of the darkest secrets of an agency so clandestine it doesn't even have a name. And when they decided that she was a liability, they came for her without warning. Now she rarely stays in the same place or uses the same name for long. They've killed the only other person she trusted, but something she knows still poses a threat. They want her dead, and soon.
alone. When her former handler offers her a way out, she realizes it's her only chance to erase the giant target on her back, but it means taking one last job for her ex-employers. To her horror, the information she acquires only makes her situation more dangerous. Resolving to meet the threat head-on, she prepares for the toughest fight of her life but finds herself falling for a man who can only complicate her likelihood of survival. As she sees her choices being rapidly whittled down, she must apply her unique talents in ways she never dreamed of.
Hello. Okay, so it is 9:01 and we have 8 hours, 55 minutes, and 33 seconds left. So once I finish breakfast, I am going to start reading Verity. I went ahead and just looked up with the audiobook of Verity, how long it is, and it says it's about an 8 hour and 10-minute read, which is kind of perfect. So it looks like we'll have time to finish Verity and then possibly start The Odyssey. As far as this audiobook goes, it's all right. And if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit what did I get into? Because it's a 17-hour audiobook and I'm like, this story is gonna be 17 hours. Okay. It is 9:21. We have 8 hours and 40 minutes exactly left. I'm really excited to read this and I really hope this lives up to the hype because I've just heard so many good things about it. So let's get started.
Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts a job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of what really happened the day her daughter died. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents would devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue to love her.
What did I just read? What did I just read? What did I just read right now? This book, okay, first of all, let me back up. Let me just back up for a second. Okay, it is 4:34 and we have 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 11 seconds left. This book, what is this? This ending, what is this ending? This book was good. I flew through this book. I read this book in 6 hours. I absolutely flew through this book. It was just so it just hooks you in. And yeah, I even meant to stop and talk about things halfway through. There was none of that. There was what is going to happen? What's happening? This book is really good. Definitely lives up to the hype, I think, specifically because what was this ending? I can't even, that book was so good. Yeah, I'll probably give it a 5-star. I mean, there are moments in it where I was just okay, but I thought it was an easy read. The pacing was good. The story kind of hooks you in. I am curious to hear, if anyone has read this book, I'm curious to hear what you think of the ending. I feel I know what I think of the ending, but I want to know what other people think because, what was this ending? Anyway, okay. Next book. Let's get on to the next book. We have 2 hours left to read The Odyssey, which I'm really excited about. That is it. The 24 hours is done. Okay, so the timer just went off. 24 hours is done. I am on page 90 of the Odyssey. Honestly, I actually had to stop and make dinner, so that was an audiobook moment. So this 24 hours was actually a lot better than the last 24 hours. The last time I did this, every book that we read this time was very enjoyable, so I think that that also really helped that the books were actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna stop reading for the day because I just don't want to like read another word. I literally don't want to read another word. And then I'm just going to kind of like regroup and come back with some like reviews and things like that tomorrow. We made it through, and it didn't last 3 days this time. Hey, okay, so quick recap of the past 24 hours. I actually really enjoyed myself because all of these books were like, you know, 4 or 5-star reads. So I actually had quite a fun time with this challenge. So I'm a very visual person, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do like mood boards about each of these books just to show you like what was the vibe that I was getting from the book. So then that way, like if you see the mood board and you're like, ooh, that looks like a world that I would like to explore, then you can check out these books. So for the first book that we finished, it was an audiobook that I started prior to the 24-hour challenge, but was able to finish during the challenge. And it was called Bet on It. And here's the mood board for Bet on It. So this book takes place in Greenville, South Carolina, and it follows the relationship between Asia and Walker. So this couple here in the top right corner, I think that this is what Asia and Walker would look like based on the descriptions of the book. I also have some bingo pictures in here. That's where they first met. And then I have some peaches and peach cobbler in here. Without giving away too much detail or too much information, I feel like this is pretty significant, specifically for Walker's backstory. And then I have these 2 pictures here where you can see people cheersing kind of like at like a dinner party. And then the picture of the girl showing her nails. I put those 2 in there to represent the relationship that Asia has between her new friends that she found. Her friends are just very understanding and supportive of her social anxiety. And I just really appreciated the relationship between her and those other women. And then the pictures on the bottom right-hand corner and the bottom left-hand corner, this is just the date that Asia and Walker went on. I just thought it would be cute to represent that. Overall, I thought this book was really sweet. It does also touch on mental health topics such as anxiety, depression, PTSD, abandonment, but I also really like the relationship of them finding each other and helping each other through those things, as well as the relationship between her and her friends as well. I gave this one like a 3.5 star, but I went ahead and gave it a 4 star on Goodreads. Next up, we read Legends and Lattes. I really love this book. It was so cute and cozy. And here's the mood board for Legends and Lattes. I have a couple of swords in here to represent Viv's past of like adventure and tomb raiding and cave raiding and things like that. And then I have all these other pictures to represent her present of her dream of opening a coffee shop. And I just really enjoyed this book. It was so cozy. If you're a mood reader, definitely read this in fall. It was just so sweet and wholesome. I heard this book was described as high fantasy, low stakes, and good company, and that's the perfect description of what this book is like. It was just really sweet. My favorite part was I felt like I could actually smell the like coffee brewing and the pastries being baked whenever they were describing what things tasted like, what things were. I also thought that it was just so funny and cute for them to like discover things like, oh, if you put milk in this, it's now a latte, or if you put ice in this, you can have iced coffee. I just thought that was really, it was just really funny. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see like what they're going to invent or come up with next to serve at their coffee shop. I also just really appreciated the characters and everyone who played a part in building the coffee shop and running the coffee shop, and even some of the customers. All of it was just so sweet. It was just a really nice, lighthearted read. If you're looking for something like that, this is definitely the book for you. All right, this book took me on a roller coaster. And I know this was popular on Book Talk, BookTube, Bookstagram. I'm late to the party, and that's probably why I'm so late, is because this was hyped up so much. It did live up to the hype. I think I did give this 5 stars. So here's the mood board for Verity, and I kept it kind of dark because this book is kind of dark. And it takes place in a lake house, and it follows this author named Lowen, who is hired to finish writing Verity's books. Verity's another author, and she was recently in an accident. She becomes incapacitated, so Lowen moves into her lake house to finish writing her books. She's working out of Verity's office, and while she's working, she comes across this autobiography that Verity never intended for anyone to see because it has some very heavy, very dark confessions in there, very dark stuff. And so it just follows this entire wild, crazy story about Verity and Lowen. So I just have like a few things in here to kind of represent that. Like I said, it does take place on the lake, so the boat in the bottom right corner has a lot of significance. The couple in the top right corner remind me of Lowen and Jeremy, who is Verity's husband, who have like this blooming romance that starts to form the longer that Lowen is living in their house and like trying to finish writing these books. This book was just so insane, and I didn't even put this down because I kept reading, so I was like, what's gonna happen? This book is just really wild. So for this go around of the 24-hour readathon challenge, I wanted to read some graphic novels as well. So I finished reading the Iliad, and I also started reading the Odyssey. I have not finished this one yet, but the Iliad was really good. I haven't read this story in a while, and I thought that the author and the illustrator did a really good job of keeping all of the major points of the story in the book, and the illustrations were just really, really nice. I just love this. It was just so it was so good to read, and because I just love the story of Achilles and Patroclus, this book was good. I gave this one 5 stars. This one was great. So here are the 3 books we were able to finish for our 24-hour readathon, as well as our audiobook Bet on It. This readathon was so much fun. I really, really, really enjoyed this one, and I cannot wait to update my reading journal with all of the books that we just finished reading. My reading wrap up for January will be out soon, and when it is, I will link it right here. But in the meantime, go check out this video to see how I set up my 2023 reading journal, or if you're interested, go check out how my very first 24-hour readathon challenge went. I will put that video right here. As always, you are so appreciated, friend. I will see you in the next one. Bye.